Hi there, and thanks for watching this quick video overview of the email marketing basics with MailChimp workshop that I delivered. And this is a summary of what we would cover in the workshop. And if you've actually attended a workshop, this is more of an overview of what was covered, just to remind you. So I'm Saunders. I'm a social media and LinkedIn expert, helping businesses build a business brand online and use communication tools to market their business. And MailChimp is one of those tools that we can use in business. So in this quick video or workshop overview, we're going to look at setting up MailChimp. We're going to look at creating sign-up forms that match your brand, adding and inviting people the right way, determining what to include in your email marketing, how to create your first email using some different templates that MailChimp offers, managing your campaigns, and reviewing your email campaign performance. So email marketing is an important part of communications in business. It goes alongside your social media and your website and is a connection between them. You want to have a sign-up form, for instance, on your website to capture interested people into your list. You want to also use social media to bring people into your list as well, because while social media is great, you don't necessarily own the lists on social media because of the way social media works. You want to take people into some sort of opt-in and grab or capture their information in your list, which MailChimp is a platform for. So here's some stats as to why email marketing works. 93% of business-to-business marketers will use email to distribute their content. Now, this one that got me, 73% of millennials prefer communications via email. Who knew? We all thought they were on Snapchat. And 99% of consumers check their email every day. So being in front of people in a platform that they're used to using and they've used well before social media is a great place to be. Now, obviously, with the volume of emails we're receiving these days, it is hard to capture attention, and sometimes things are seen as spam or junk. But sometimes it's that consistency to get in front of people. So while they may not necessarily see that email because of the volume, seeing you often enough may trigger an action or a conversation. So you want to use your email marketing to grow your business, to build your customer base. And this is a great platform to use. It's free as a starting point. And as your business grows and your list grows, then you'll look into the paid versions. But initially, using the free version will be enough for you. You'll use it to build your brand. And there are features within MailChimp that will help you. So you can create your own templates. You can use their templates and you can customize them with your things like your own branding and logos. You can create integrated campaigns that will help you stand out. Now, when you send emails, you can send campaigns to your social media at the same time. And there's some other features that you can use it within MailChimp. Now, we're not going to cover those in this training, like landing pages, postcards, automations, those sorts of things. That's really next level stuff. But they are there. So once you get going, feel free to investigate them. But we will be looking at sign-up forms because that's part of getting people onto your list. Like I mentioned, landing pages are something that MailChimp offers, and the social posts and ads. So there is quite a lot of value to MailChimp. And the reporting and analytics offered are quite useful. And you can do some testing, A/B testing, things like that. And integrating your MailChimp with other platforms that you're using is quite useful as well. So you can have a look at what MailChimp does talk to. Now, obviously, these are some of them. So you've got Eventbrite, Salesforce, R2, Squarespace, Woo, and BigCommerce. And of course, it does integrate with social media. So for instance, you can have a sign-up form on your Facebook page, just like this one. So this is on my page. And if you want to get my profile blueprint, this is how you get it. You go to the tab on my Facebook page, LinkedIn profile blueprint, fill out the form, and you receive it via email. Now, what that's doing is adding you to my mailing list, because that's my opt-in. That's my lead magnet, or whatever you want to call it. So for you, if you can think of something that you can offer as a lead magnet, something that people want that you can give easily in exchange for their email address. So let's get signed up with MailChimp. So if you go to MailChimp.com, you'll be hit with this sign up screen. So you want to go to create an account to set up your account. You want to pick an email address, a username, and a password. And here's the criteria for the password. Then you'll get an email where you need to confirm your new account. It looks like this. So once you get the email, activate the account, click on the button, and off you go. And then you'll confirm you're a human, not a robot. And next you will see this screen, which is the type of account you want. Now I'd recommend, if you're getting started, just stick with the free account. The free account gives you 2,000 subscribers a month, which is plenty to get started. But you'll see here, as your list grows, you'll then pick an account that's relevant for you. So with the free account, you get 7 marketing channels, 1-click automations, 5 email templates, and marketing CRMs. And as we go through, you'll see some of the paid features that you'll be looking to add potentially down the track. Things like templates. There's a lot of templates in the premium versions, but you might just want to create your own and keep it quite simple. So you may not need to sort of update to the paid plan initially. But if you want to do things like you want all the email templates, you want A and B testing, you want custom branding, and you want support, then you might go to the essentials package. But for now, let's go with the free package. So you'll sign in with your first name and your last name. You will complete your business name. Do you have a website? Pop that in there as well. Just gives you gives MailChimp some information about you. Put in your address. Now, do you have a list of subscribers already? Now, think about what you've got right now. Do you have a spreadsheet with a list of people that are comfortable being on your list? Do you have a pile of business cards that you need to put into a list? But to get started, just say no, because you can bring them in later. Otherwise, it's going to ask you to import them now, and you may not be ready for that. So leave that for now. Connect your social media platforms. Now, it connects to Facebook and Twitter. It doesn't have a connection to LinkedIn at this point. That's just because LinkedIn is quite restrictive in terms of who LinkedIn plays with. But by doing this, by connecting your Facebook account, it means that when you send out an email, you can send a campaign the campaign goes out to your Facebook page, and you can nominate which page. Because Facebook owns Instagram as well, and if your Instagram is connected to Facebook, you can also send it that way. And Twitter, obviously, you can send a tweet at the same time the email. So it's worthwhile doing. Okay, so let's get going. So this is going to be they're going to ask you these questions. Now you can say not right now, but if you go through and go through the questions, it just gives you a bit more information. So there's quite a few questions. This is the last question, just about how you measure your success. So think about, with your email marketing, what do you want to achieve? Is it about people interacting with you? Is it about them interacting with your software or app? Is it about appointments and bookings, or is it about buying online? So just pick the right one. Once you finish all this, you'll get to this screen here, which says you finish your setup. Now you can connect your store. Now, if you have an online store, and it's one of these, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce are the main ones here. Connect them, because it means you can sell then straight through MailChimp, which could be quite useful. Or have a look at the other integrations if yours is not mentioned. Or you can just skip this step and just link to your website as you would normally. So you can follow this whole process, design your email, add your contacts, send your first email, or you can skip this and just go and do it manually. So let's just skip it and actually jump in. So let's get started. So this is when you log into MailChimp, once you're set up, this is the screen you'll see. So it will say good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, and you'll see some information. Now, for this example, I've used a brand new account that I've set up. So it's got no audience, it's got no stats, nothing. So this is where you will be if you've just set up your account. Now, if you've got an existing account that you're going to be working on, then you'll already have some stats in here. So it's all about the audience. We want to make sure to send emails, you obviously need an audience. If you don't have any emails on your list, then you're sending it to nobody. So you have to work out how you're going to build your list. And the beauty of MailChimp is it's got some great ways of managing your audience. So when you're thinking about your list, you hear the power is in the list. In MailChimp, it's called an audience. Audience and list are actually the same thing. Audience is a list. So you'll work out what fields are you going to capture. Obviously, first name, email address are two essentials. But what else do you want to capture? You've got surname, company page, there's all sorts of things you can put into your form to decide what data will then go into your list. Because that data can be useful down the track, particularly when you're going to do some mail merging. So often when you do, the most common merge field that you would use is first name. So that when you send an email out, you'd put the merge field in and it would insert it with the name that they put in. Now you might have other information you'd like to be able to seed into emails. So for instance, if you want to mention someone's birthday or their location, if you've got that as a merge field, you can put it into the email. But I'm jumping ahead. But have a think about what data you'd like to collect. And when we do the form, you can think about that then. Now, when we're sending out emails, we've got 3 ways of organizing our audience. So we've got tags, groups, and segments. So, and I'm going to explain the difference right now. So groups are something that the audience opt into. So on your sign-up form, you can ask some questions, which then form the groups. So for instance, you might say, are you interested in, if I think of my business, are you interested in LinkedIn training, mentoring? Are you interested in, DIY learning, online courses, things that you offer? So they can select those things. And then when it comes to emailing, you can use that as criteria to email a set group of people. Now tags are assigned individually. So when someone adds themselves to your list or you import somebody, you then can add a tag to them. So your tags could be, around who they are, what their relationship is to you, their location, something like that. Segments, however, are based on the data. So things that come in behind the scenes. I'm going to go through what all those are in a bit more detail now. So segments. So here's some examples of segments. So you can include up to 5 when you're sending out emails. So for example, subscribers who opened any of your last 5 emails. So 5 emails you sent out and they've opened, you could then target those people because you can then go, well, maybe they're really interested in what I have to say. Subscribers who didn't click on your last campaign, you might create an email specifically for them. Contacts who recently purchased from your connected store. So if you've connected, your Shopify, your WooCommerce store, and they've recently bought something, because of that connection, MailChimp has that data and you can then send them an email based on that action. Contacts who live in a certain location. So if you have a particular offer for people in Sydney, people in Bunbury, you can send that email to those people. And then contacts who spend more than $500, you might have a particular email for them. So that's just a few examples. There's much more you can do there as well. So this is what segments look like. So you're on this screen here under your Manage Contacts area, and you can create a segment. So this example, I've created a segment called Perth 25. This is all about location. And it says contacts that match any of these conditions. So we've got location is within 25 miles of Perth. And that's it. So that's what that segment looks like. So if I'm doing something geographically based, that's how it comes up. Now tags. So tags are assigned to individuals. Segments, like I said, happen in the background because that's based on data, and then you create a segment based on the data. Tags you need to add. So it's good to think about how you'd like to categorize your people when you're first starting. So here's some examples of tags you could use. So it might be, once again, location. You might use Perth client. So not just the fact that they're in Perth, but they're actually your client. Melbourne client. Referral partner might be another tag you might want to, because you might want to send an email to those people to help them promote your products and services. You might tag people as influencers in your industry. Maybe networking group member. So if you're a member of a BNI or a different type of group, you might want to tag them that way, because you might want to have a special offer for them. And volunteers. So if you run a community and you've got volunteers who are on a committee or whatever, you might have an email for them. So these are just some ideas. So have a think about your network. Who would you like to have on your list? Who do you currently engage with, and how would you identify them? And think of a few ways to tag people, how you'd like to interact with them via email. So this is what tags look like. So you're in the Manage Contact area once again. You create a tag, which is the button over to the right, and you've got, here's 3 examples in this particular account. So I've got founder, Perth business, VIP clients. So I might want to send a special offer to certain clients. So, or I might want to send them an invitation to an event. So that's how I can manage those people within my list. So you want to keep building your audience. So one way to build an audience is to import your list or have a sign up form that you can manage. So when you go to your audience area, this is what you'll see, and you can click on manage audience, and you can see here, this is where you will do those. You can add, you can import. We can access the sign up forms from here to customize them, manage contacts. If you've already got contacts in your MailChimp, so if you've already got an account you've set up, if you go to manage contacts, then you can go through all those people and assign tags and that sort of thing. And then the settings are in here as well. And you can view your audiences, because you might have multiple audiences. And you'll see just here, tags show up here as well. So at this point we had one tag. I can add a tag from this window here. So if we go into manage my contacts and I go into one record, now this is a brand new list, so I only had one record, which happened to be me. So here's what a contact record looks like. It doesn't have a photo. I mean, you could put a photo in potentially. You can write notes in here. So you can see a note I've written. So Joey's a VIP and gets all the special treatment. She loves cheesecake and cinnamon on her birthday. So you can put notes on your contacts, so which is a very simplified CRM type of feature. So it just means that you can, if there's something you heard about the person, something someone told you, something that they told you in conversation, you can make that note and use this as your basic CRM. If you look over to the right here, we've got tags, so I can see that this particular contact has been tagged with VIP client and founder. I can look at the overall open rates and click-through rates. So open rate is obviously when people open your email. Click-through is if they've clicked on something. Now, at this point, I haven't sent an email, so there isn't any rates here. Now, if I'm connected to an online store, you'd even get to see your revenue and average orders. Profile information is here as well, so you can put in address, phone numbers, and then basic sort of information here as well. Now let's look at building a form, because this is how we're going to get people onto our list. And as I showed you at the beginning, you can put that form on connected to your Facebook page. You can also embed it on your website. So you want to think about those touch points, those entry points that your clients are going to come to. So if we look at the form building area, so you can see here we're in the audience area still. So you go into there. And rather than being in the manage contacts area, we're going into sign up forms, and we're going to go into form builder. Now the embedded forms, this is what you need for a website. So you're going to select that one and go through and customize it and get the code and either put it onto your website yourself or give it to your web developer and get them to do so. There's also pop-ups and form integrations, but in this case, we're going to look at form builder because that's where we want to create that sign up form. And you'll see down the bottom here, Facebook form as well, and a tablet form. So you can learn a little bit about them there. So if you're going to the form builder, you've got you'll see at the top here, a little box here, sign up form. And there's many forms in the process, or many things that they're going to see in the sign up process. The first one is the actual form that they're going to complete. But then you get to show them what's going to be seen on screen, what do they get by email, what's the whole process. But in the first case, we'll just look at this. So we've got the sign up form, and we've got a URL for that form, which you can customize. There's even a QR code which will link to the form. So if you want to print it somewhere, maybe you're going to be at a business expo and you might want to create a little flyer saying, sign up for our list to get our free whatever it is you're giving away. Put the QR code, and all they've got to do is scan it with the phone on the app, the phone on their camera on their phone, and they go to this form. So you need to work out what your opt-in might be. But in terms of the form itself, obviously the form name is going to be whatever your company name is. And then you've got to work out what fields you want. So what data do you want to collect? Because this data is going to help you with that segmenting and merge fields as well. So you definitely want email, first name, last name. Now address you may or may not want. I tend not to use that. Phone number the same. Because with an opt-in form, the shorter the better really, because you want people to actually complete it. But so the more information you put in, the longer it becomes. So what I recommend is there's information you'd like to collect from this list over here. Put it in, but make it an optional field. email and first name compulsory, because you can decide if it's optional or compulsory. If you make everything compulsory, it's going to annoy people. I've seen forms particularly from marketing companies, that are quite long, and you have to fill in information to get the thing. It's really annoying. So work out your fields. Then you want to go into the Design It tab. Now this is where you get to choose the colors and the fonts and that sort of thing, font colors. So do you want the background gray? Do you want to do anything fancy with it? So you can make some changes. Now, don't spend too much time perfecting it. Better done than not done. So give it a go. So that's your form. And then you can share the form itself. You can share it out to Facebook, to Twitter. You can share this link. So you could put the link on an email signature. You could, like I say, you could put it connect it to your Facebook so that people can see it there, or go into the other option here, embed, to create a form for your website. So that's forms basically. So have a go and just have a play with them and see how you get on. I just wanted to jump over to, I'm going to go live to MailChimp just to show you the forms area. So if I go into, let me just go into audiences and just show you the different options for the form process. So we go into audience, then we go into the manage audience area, go to sign up forms, and we're going to go into form builder. So we're going to select, and we're at the screen that I just showed you. So we've got sign up forms selected. So you'll see down the bottom here, this is the basic sign up form. But if we click on the drop down arrow, you can see there's a sign up form with alerts. So this is where, if there's something wrong with a form, like errors, what this is going to look like. I don't usually change that because it's generally the same. You've got recapture information, confirmation, thank you. So after they've signed up, this is what they see. Subscription confirmed, your subscription to our list has been confirmed. Now, depending on if this is part of your opt-in process, you might want to change the wording to say specifically, thank you for, rather than saying your subscription has been confirmed, you might say, thanks for requesting the blah, blah, blah. Final welcome email. So this is the email that goes out once they have subscribed. So right now it says your subscription to our list has been confirmed. So the other one is on screen. This is email. But you might want to say something a bit friendlier, a bit more branded. And of course you can design it as well and make it look nicer. Let's go back in. Then we've got the unsubscribe form. So what does that look like? We're sorry to see you go. You might have some other words you prefer to use here. Unsubscribe to success page, so that's really confirming that that's actually happened. Goodbye email, so they're going to get the email to confirm that they have been removed. You might want to change the wording to make it more on brand. What's next? Let's have a look. Profile update email. So this is more if they want to make any changes. This is what they see. Email sent, profile form. So you can see there's all these different areas that you get to change. Forward to a friend form. So if they're forwarding, this is what it's going to look like. About your list, campaign survey, automation landing page. So there's a few things you can do here. But the most important one to get right is your sign up form, because that's what people are seeing first. And then the rest is just basic communication. So let's go back to the slides. So we've talked about the sign up form now, getting that right. So now let's look at email templates. So if you go to the templates area, templates are things you can choose to use when you're obviously going to be communicating with your network. So when you first sign up, you don't have any templates. You'll see the top two options, Content Studio and Create Templates. Content Studio is where you upload images, upload logos, things like that. And the Create Template is where you actually go to get started. So this is a Content Studio here. You can see I've uploaded a logo that sits up here. And you can see here I can actually make it my default logo. So at the top you click the little drop down arrow and you can go set my logo. And that means that it's now going to be within MailChimp, it is your logo. Now if you go into the templates area, and so if we just go back to that screen here, create a template, click there, you'll see this, you'll come to this screen. So you've got layouts, themes, and code your own. Now code your own is if your web developer has given you the code for an email that's customized right for you, you'll go there and paste that code. But for the most part, you'll just go into either layouts or themes. So layouts give you just some ideas of what you could do. Now, some of these are paid, some are free. And as you hover over the layouts and themes, it'll tell you which ones you can use with the account you've got. So if you might go along and say, I like the look of this one here with the image at the top and the 2 columns, you click on it and off you go to customize. And these ones here are just placeholders as well. So in this one, let's choose the first one. It's got a logo at the top, which will come from setting your standard logo. It's got a title, it's got an image and a bit of text and a button. So this is what it looks like. It pulls in my logo already because I've set it as the default logo. It's got this title, which I can change. I can click on it and change. So when you click on any of the elements in this panel, to the right, it will show up. So right now it's showing me all the different things I can add. So if I wanted to add something to what's already here, I want to add a box text, I click and drag it over. If I'd like to add an image, I click and drag it over. So, and if I don't want something that's already here, I select it and delete it. So it's very easy to do. Now remember, we're keeping in mind that we're creating a template right now because a template is something we want to use again. And then what will happen is in this area, over here under templates, let me go back into here, sorry, we'll have another option saying save templates so that when we go into our campaign, we can actually select the template we've created. Now you don't have to create a template, you can just start with a campaign and design on the fly, but templates are good for consistency for your brand. So you might have different types of email you want to send out. Maybe you want to have a monthly newsletter and then you want to have a weekly announcement. So you might create two templates. One might be like this, might be a product announcement. And the other email might have lots of different information. So if we go back to the examples, a newsletter might look something like this with a heading at the top and then 3 little images and 3 bits of text, because you might want to feature different blogs on your website. You might want to feature different products. So let's get back to this one. So this is what we're going to do. This is how it looks. And we're going to change the title. We're going to change the image. We're going to change the text. So you can see here that I've made some changes. So I've put an image in that box there. I've clicked on the text, which I've edited over here and put this information. I've clicked on a button and customized that. And you can see over here what it looks like. So the button, there's the button text. So I've put in, rather than start shopping, I've changed it to buy now for $129. Link to web address, and then the web address here. So I've actually found the web address for my product. So this is the Get Sorted program that I sell as an online program. There's the link there, and then I can save it. So when this email goes out, they get this text, they see the image, and they get the button where they can buy my product. So it's quite a simple process. Now let's look at templates. So rather than layouts, if you want to use templates that are pre-formatted, most of them are paid, but there are a few that are free. So this one here is a free version. So if we click on that one, we'll get taken to this here. And once again, you can customize it slightly, but you might use this as a basis. You might then change the text. Maybe rather than view appointment, you change the text to something else. You might want to put your logo in there. So you can use that as a basis. But you'll see here, they're okay. But I prefer to actually use the layouts and create my own. But if you're feeling overwhelmed or uninspired, this is a way to get started. But keep in mind that other people can use these templates. So particularly if you actually leave these images in there, and if you're in the beauty business and someone else might have used this particular email, so you want to make it branded. And then of course you want to save and close. So now you've saved your template, whether you've gone from a layout or an actual template that's already here. You've made it your own. Now let's send your first email campaign. So a campaign is essentially an email. It's that email you're going to send out to your list or your segment of your list. So in the campaigns area, you're going to select new campaign. So go to campaign, and then at the right-hand corner, you'll see here, create campaign. You're going to give it a name. So in this case, we're going to call it a bit of a test campaign, and then begin. And keep it as regular. Regular allows you to have the formatting. Plain text doesn't give you the images. And then we get this screen here. And an email is split into 4 parts. You've got the content area. You've obviously got the name of it. The content area. You've got who it's to. You'll see your audience. Who it's from, which is yourself, and the subject. And then under that, you'll see sharing your campaign. So your campaign will have a link. So while it goes via email, it does have a web link. And also you can share to social media at the same time. So this is where the links come in. If you've connected up your Facebook pages and your Twitter account and also Instagram, they show up here. So you can do that at the same time. So let's start with the content area. Let's build your email. So in the content area, we're going to click Design Email. So this is where we get to, there's two parts to designing the email. Well, firstly, we need to select what the email needs to look like. So are we going to use layouts? So think about, we've just created a template, but we could actually start from a layout. We can start from a theme that's already there, or we can use our own saved templates that we've just created. So here's my, I've got the test theme and the Get Sorted launch. So I might use one of these as my email starting point. And of course, we're going to put our text in, just like I showed you on that template message. You're going to put your own text in, you're going to put images in and links and craft your content. Then we want to work out who are we going to send this to. Now, actually, before we do that, when we've done the content part of it, we can actually send ourselves a test, and you'll see it in the content area at the very top. Send test message. So you want to make sure there's no typos, it looks good, and that sort of thing. But then we want to think about, well, who is this going to? Is it going to your entire list? Is it going to a segment? So have you set up a segment based on some criteria on the back end? So I set up a segment called Perth 25, which is going to send it to people who are 25 miles of Perth. So that's something I've set up. Tags, I've got 3 tags in my system. So I've got founder, Perth business, VIP. So is this email intended for my VIP clients? And then there's the groups, which I don't have any, but because I haven't set any groups up on my form. But if you have groups, that's another way. That's where people self-select into an area based on their interests. So they're the 3 areas you can think about. And the other one that's a pre-built segment is new subscribers. So if you just want to send it to new people to the list, then you can do that as well. Or, like I said, you can send it to everybody. So I tend to send all my newsletters to everybody. That's just how I work. But you might have a reason to send it to certain people. Now, you want to have a compelling title to your email. So you've got subject down here. You've got, so think and do a bit of research. Now, I mentioned a tool in the workshop called CoSchedule. Headline Analyzer. So just Google Headline Analyzer by CoSchedule, and that will help give you some feedback on what you're intending to use as a headline, and it'll give you some tips about how you can improve it. MailChimp also has some suggestions as well. But think about the emails you receive. Which ones grab your attention? Which headlines, blog articles, the titles, what grabs your attention there? Because you want to make it attention grabbing, so that when you send it, people actually open it. Now, when you go to share your campaign, when you're publishing it, when you hit that publish button, you can also share to your social media. So just tick which ones you want to use, and it will ask you for, you'll get a bit of preview text and an image. So which image are you going to use? And it might be an image that's in the email, and what bit of text are you going to share on your social media. And then when you're ready, you hit this button here. So you've gone back to this screen and send now. There you go, send at the top, and then you get this little warning saying, are you sure you're right to send? And then hit send. Now, the other thing you can do is, if you don't want to send it now, particularly if you're preparing and it's not the day you want to send it, but this is the time when you're working on it, you can also schedule. So you can see this button here next to send that has, there we go, this one here. And you can set a time. So if you're doing your marketing, say it's Marketing Monday for you, but you actually want your email to go out Tuesday afternoon, then you schedule it for then. Very easy to do. And then once the email goes out, this is what it would look like. So in that case, I've used the email copy that I had in that template, but I've used that as my campaign. The email's gone out, and there we go. It's all about the program and buying it. So in this case, it's a sales email. Now, once you've gone, you've done your email and you've sent it out, you want to check how successful was it. Now, MailChimp has some reports for you. So on the menu at the very top, you've got the reports area, and you can look down here. So you can see all your campaigns and you can have a look at their success. So this is obviously a very new account and no one's actually seen the emails. So there's 2 subscribers and 0% opens, 0% clicks, because it was at the time, I've sent the email and it's done, it's straight away. But hopefully you've got a good sized list, and you might have waited a week after the email's gone out, maybe a few days. You might check it in different times to see, when are people opening it. Your open rate, don't expect 100%. But if you're getting high percentage, great, that's fantastic. 25% is deemed good. But if you're getting sort of 10, 15%, then have a look at, well, how can you increase it? Maybe it's the subject line. Maybe that needs to be more compelling. Maybe the email's too short. Maybe it's too long. Maybe there's too many links, too many photos. Maybe it's hitting the junk mail filters. So have a look at what you can tweak for next time. But if you're getting sort of 30%, 40% or more, then you're doing something right. And if people are clicking on it, that's great. And you can download the reports, you can view the reports, and you can compare all your campaigns as well. And there's other reports on other features which we're not touching in this video, but you've got a fair bit of analytics. And if you look at the reports for that particular email, you'll see exactly what people clicked on. So that's intro to MailChimp and email marketing in a nutshell. Hopefully you've got some value out of this session and you're comfortable getting started, whether it's setting up your MailChimp from scratch, whether it's importing your list and getting started that way, or whether it's tweaking what you're already doing and getting it working better for you. Maybe you're going to look at building some templates for yourself so that you can have a couple of different options for your brand. And maybe you're going to look at segmenting your audience down into the segmented area for from the data that we have, or if it's tagging people manually. And then, of course, designing your sign-up form and working out what do you want people to put in, and what do you want to capture in terms of their interest, so you can use groups to send emails out as well. And we've talked about branding, how you can make your logo your default logo so it appears on all your emails, and where you can put your information. So the Content Studio area is where you host all your documents, your photos and things like that you're going to be putting into your emails. And when you create your emails themselves, when you go to campaign to create your email and you're writing that email, every time you upload something, it goes into the content area. So when you write another email in future, it's in your library already, and you can pull from that image, that photo again. So I look forward to helping you again, and hopefully if you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch. If you do need any further help and you want a one-on-one session with myself or one of the other advisors with the program, you're very welcome to book us through businessstation.com.au. These are some of the topics I tend to focus on. Email marketing I can certainly help with, but I'm actually known more for LinkedIn, Twitter, content marketing, social media, events like Eventbrite. I use a lot of different social media tools that I can help you with. I'm an ambassador for Nimble, which is a social CRM, and also Agora Pulse, which is a social media management and scheduling tool. So there's those sorts of things I can certainly help you with. And when I work with clients, we either work face-to-face, one-on-one, or via Zoom, wearing our Ugg boots, which is great. And of course, I've got regular workshops on these topics coming up in different locations. And like I said, there are many other presenters and advisors that can help as well. There are different people who specialize in different things. So if you want to work on your email marketing automation and funnels and that sort of thing, there are other people that would specialize in that. If you want to know more about Facebook advertising, creating graphics with Canva, creating videos, SEO, copywriting, there are advisors that can help there as well. And sessions are just $44 each for your hour. So they're very affordable. But you're welcome to get in touch with me. Feel free to connect to me on LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter. And there's information on my website, including my content, my workshop calendar of all my workshops through the ASBAS program. You'll see it under my training and speaking menu. But thank you very much for attending the session. Thanks for watching this video, and hopefully it's been helpful to you.